But we need to get here and get started with the Pistons. And you know this, Kelvin, because I've been saying it all year. And you know I'm not front-running or whatever, right? I kept questioning, especially when I talked about the shooting, the three-point shooting. Am I right? Was I not beating that drum? That I kept saying, I don't care what NBA expert came on this show. I said, I don't think they have enough shooting. Like, they don't have enough. And if Cade isn't going off, like, where are you getting it from? And he had a bad night. My God, like 23 turnovers in the last 3 games. Pillsbury on line 1. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Yeah. Duran, I mean, and he got dunked on, which was what a poster that was.
Hey, yo,
am I right?
He postered is an understatement. I think that was the moment. Like, that sealed the fate right there. Like, he stole all the mojo out of Detroit with that dunk.
And what's crazy, if you watch that, who was that? Kane, right?
Kane. Yeah, he did him like Kane killed Abel.
But Kane was looking to pass the ball originally, and somebody jumped in where he was going to pass the ball off. He wasn't even, and then just decided, okay, I'll hold on to it. I'll just dribble down, and it opened up like the Red Sea. And he just said, okay, I'm going to just go for it. And what a dunk that was. And that was
how biblical we got. Red Sea, Cain killed Abel.
It was biblical. But here's my point, and I'm not going to belabor it. I told you the Detroit Pistons were frauds, and I was right again. I told you before the show that they're the Detroit Lions 2.0, and the Pistons lived up to the billing. They went to Final 5-24 without a field goal in a game to save their season. It was on the table. They weren't getting blown out. They could have won that game. And then, you know what I mean, tied up the series, went back to Detroit and won this thing. And this is a number 1 seed, and they really haven't, other than the second half, Kelvin, of Game 2, where they won a defensive blitzkrieg, they really haven't played up to snuff, up to par. It has been a struggle the whole way, and it ain't like the Magic did something great offensively either. They scuffled. They shot 32% and still won. Because the Pistons turned the ball over to me 20 times. You can't win a playoff game. But I'm telling you, if this is not a wake-up call for people about the regular season being one thing and the playoffs being something else. The Pistons loaded up. They won 60 games. They were playing hard every night where other teams were taking nights off, Kelvin. They were piling up those wins against all these teams that were tanking. We already know the NBA is going to put this new system in place about tanking. We'll get to that. Yeah. There's a lot of other stuff we're going to get to. But this going into the NBA playoffs tonight, this was embarrassing for the Pistons, and I don't know what else to say other than use the F word. I have to use the F word. They're frauds. They're not a number 1 seed. They're a fraud franchise, and I'm not surprised where they are when you really look at it. To me, other than Cade, it's not even close. I think that the Magic had way more talent than the Pistons do.
The issue that broke my heart, Rob, is what you just said. You cannot lose a game where your defense is playing well so much to the tune that you hold the other team to shooting 32% and 25% from the free throw. And that's a game you have to win in a essentially do-or-die game. And the number 1 seed has to find a way to win that game. J.B. Bickerstaff, Coach of the Year, has to find a way to win that game. Cade Cunningham, what do you say, Rob? More turnovers than a bakery?
That's what it was. I'm telling you, Pillsbury on line 1.
Cade Cunningham, you talk about turning over. Man, Chuck Daly turning over his grave right now the way those Pistons just played yesterday. I can't believe that I witnessed, again, a team hold a team to 32% field goal, 25 from 3, lose. But one of the ways you lose is when you're turning the ball over. And the reason you turn the ball over so much, Cade Cunningham, is because you're having to do it all. And one of the things that disappoint me, similarly to how I'm disappointed with the Houston Rockets, you heard me talk about it, we talked about it, they knew they didn't have Fred VanVleet, and they knew they didn't have shooting, and they didn't address it essentially all year long. And you screamed that the Pistons didn't have shooting. I did nothing but agree because that was the one issue they had. And they did nothing all season long. And during the last little bit of the season, people are like, why don't they go get somebody? Where's Malik Beasley? Why don't they get a shooter? And they addressed none of the issues, thinking maybe, just maybe, they could tough their way through the playoffs. And we know the playoffs expose you. The playoffs expose your weaknesses, they expose your flaws, and they expose the holes in your team. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And I'm sick. That's why I got the Jordan face on me. I've been hoodwinked. Led astray, run amok. I'm so disappointed again in the effort and the fact that you just mentioned you couldn't score in 5 minutes.
5 minutes and 24 seconds. They got like a putback at the end or whatever, but they went scoreless for that much time.
And the only thing I'll say why I don't agree with your Lions take is because basketball, and I get your sentiment, but
my only thing with the Lions, and I'm just going to make it clear, they both were number one seeds, and you know what I mean, in their conference, their division, and people in their conference, and people thought that they had they're doing something.
This is where I disagree. The Pistons were ahead of schedule. The Lions were supposed to win.
So now they're ahead of schedule because they lost. Is that what they are or no?
No, you're ahead of schedule. We talked about this months ago. Nobody expected them to win, be the number one team in the East. That wasn't a.
Yeah, but they won all those games. So now, what were your expectations?
No. They're not supposed to lose this, Rob. I'm not excusing that.
Okay. I don't want to hear no excuses.
No. What I'm saying is, even if they, let's say they won this and they lost to the Knicks, they're ahead of schedule as far as the.
But if they lost to the Knicks, I think people would be upset because they think they own the Knicks. They blew the Knicks out all year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would have been upset, but I think a lot of people, 10 analysts on TV would pick, probably 7 would pick, 6 would pick the Knicks. So what I'm just saying is, the Lions, Super Bowl, you have a chance to get there. They had there against the 49ers, and obviously the year you're referencing when they thought they were going to beat the Commanders. That is detrimental. Whereas the Pistons, the way the NBA goes, you can say you're heading towards something. In football, you get that crack at it like that, and you don't do it, you may never get a chance again, the Lions in the NFC Championship game. The one saving grace that they have is that Jalen Duren has exposed himself as still good, but ways to go, that he just gave himself a massive haircut, and they're going to get him for a discount. He was up for an extension. They're going to be able to take care of him. 20-10, an all-star, right? If you're his agent, you're coming to the window saying, hey, y'all got to cash us out. Now, I think you're going to get him for a nice discount.
I disagree. I don't think I wouldn't take a haircut. I would.
Well, let me rephrase that. If you're coming back, if somebody throws him a bag.
I'm just saying, if I'm them, I would dare them to let me go talk to somebody else. Somebody will pay that kid. I'm telling you.
I don't disagree, but it doesn't have to be me. That's a bar. Okay. Because, again, you can't be getting.
But you're not getting him for a discount. His agent won't do that. There's too many other teams that need players.
And then, dang it, well, that just frees up some money to go see something. What else is out there? I like him, want him back, but I'm not paying him some max type of money or near that. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So they put themselves, and that's why I said, so there's only one silver lining is that. And the only other silver lining was yesterday was the whatever anniversary of when Tracy McGrady said it's good to move on when they were up 3-1 against them back in 2002.
You living off of that?
And yeah, I'm living off of that. You better give me some hope. Dang it, Alex, where's my keep hope alive?
Okay.
And that this the anniversary from that, Rob, that maybe, just maybe.
I was there.
I know you were there. T-Mac, it feels good to be moving on. We moving on. Well, dang it, Robert. Why can't it happen again, okay? Keep hope alive.
Because nothing you've seen for 3.5 games will tell you that there's something different going on. And if you
Only
look at,
the fact is
and if
that
you
the
look
Magic
at Cade,
haven't been spectacular either.
Yeah, but they get wins, and the thing is,
I'm not arguing with that.
And the thing is, Cade looks run down. I don't. If you look at him,
it's all on him.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying,
Rob. They didn't address that. That's one of the things
he looks run down.
Address it. Houston and the Pistons, two teams that have good teams to great teams, didn't address those holes, knowing, as you mentioned, going in the postseason is when things bunker down, they get tighter, you get exposed, and they didn't go out and improve. And I'm sick. Put the Jordan face on me again, Elijah. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.